Welcome to the GSD with Jenny podcast, where we talk about how to overcome all the stuff that gets in the way of getting shit done. Imposter syndrome, fear, money, relationships, networking, building businesses. We're going to talk to experts, or as I say, mavens, that provide practical and tactical advice on how to GSD. I'm your host, Jenny Buchholz, founder and CEO of Haven Creative. Now, I started my business with $300 in a laptop and grew it to a team of Haven mavens serving clients around the world and generating over 7 figures in revenue. We were named one of the fastest growing companies in Charlotte and 2024 Crowns of Enterprise Woman-Owned Business of the Year, and I'm incredibly proud of the success we've had and to be among the 1% of woman-owned advertising agencies in the country. But I still need help too. So I started this podcast with the intent to dive deeper into the things that hold us back from achieving our goals. So thank you for joining me on this journey to GSD. Let's get started. Welcome to the GSD podcast. I am thrilled to introduce to you my friend, Saichelle McNeil, the brains and beauty behind the washroom laundry service here in Charlotte. A true North Carolina gal and proud HBCU alum, she has a BS in biology and chemistry and an MBA in management and marketing. With over a decade of engineering expertise in big name companies like Kraft and Unilever, Saichelle is a powerhouse of efficiency, and she's certified in Six Sigma and practically breathes Lean and Kaizen. When she's not blazing the business world, you'll find her supporting fellow entrepreneurs as the chair of the Charlotte chapter of Entrepreneurs Organization Accelerator Program. She also serves on the Center for Community Transitions Board as a secretary. A family gal through and through, she spends time with her awesome kiddos, dives deep into podcasts like this, and whips up culinary masterpieces for her crew. So welcome to the show, Saichelle.
Thank you. That was an awesome introduction. I need a superwoman cape right now.
I mean, that's a
Who
big
wrote
bio.
that?
I don't know. You gave it to me and it's awesome.
I don't know who wrote that.
No, it's good. It's good stuff. So we've obviously known each other for a few years. We came up through the EOA program together. So I know you're full of grit and hustle and resilience and scaling your business. But I want you to share your story of how you became an entrepreneur with our listeners. So just start with that.
All right. So I am what I call a non-traditional entrepreneur. I did not start my business because I saw there was a need and went to fulfill that need. I started my business because I didn't have a job. I didn't have a job because I served a 27-month prison sentence in federal prison in West Virginia, of all places. It's a flyover state for me. Anyway, I was released from federal prison in August of 2015, and I started my job search immediately. And my background is manufacturing, over 12 years of manufacturing experience. And, I really earned my wings in manufacturing. And because my crime had nothing to do with work, I thought it would be easy for me to get back into the workforce. And so I applied to many, many jobs. And of course, you get to the point on the application where you have to check the box, and it automatically moves my application into the reject file, right? No good. It's not good at all. It's a terrible practice, right? Because you block out many employees that are worthy of the work, can do the work, and ready to do the work. And so I finally got, and so I was working at Waffle House. Oh gosh, Waffle House, believe it or not, is not a bad place to work. Waffle House's business model is tremendous. They have a Waffle House University down in Norcross, Georgia.
Did not know
right?
that.
They put their managers through very extensive training, and their managers get paid pretty well. But I was working at Waffle House as a cook, and I liked to cook. It was all right. It was just working. But I had an opportunity to interview with Corning here in Hickory, North Carolina. I went for the interview, had a great interview, spent a lot of time talking to the HR business partner about my past and where I was looking to be in the future. And she was all on board. She's like, this is great. The leadership team loves you. And I was like, yes, this is the farthest I've ever gotten in an interview. And so in a few days, they made me, they they gave me an offer for the job. I accepted it. It was a lowball offer, but I just want to go to work. I want to be able to provide for me and my family. I feel like I've done the time for committing the crime. I know that I had, made a mistake and made a poor choice, and I dealt with the consequence of that. And I dealt with the consequence of that. And so, um, I accepted the job offer, and the day before I was supposed to start this job at Corning in Hickory, North Carolina, I got a knock on the door, and I received a certified letter rescinding my job offer.
They sent you a letter? That's some bullshit.
Yes, they sent me a letter, and I still have that letter today. It is nicely framed, and it sits behind my desk in my office. And I also have the check stub from where they paid me reimbursement for travel, right?
Oh, come on.
So I called the HRBP and I was like, hey, what's going on? And she says to me, I couldn't get the leadership team to take a chance on you.
Hold on. They gave you an offer and then they took it back.
They took it back. And so I was crushed because I know that I am better than the Waffle House as a cook.
Yeah.
I have so much more to offer to people than, cooking for them and them not even seeing my face. At the Waffle House, you cook with your back to people, right? And that's not my best side. My best side is this side, right? And so a friend of mine that I used to work with at Energizer lived here and had a tow truck company, and he would come and get me, and I would ride with him and learn my way around Charlotte. And one day I was telling him that my prison hustle was taking people's laundry. So where I was at, you had to walk a half a mile one way to take your laundry, and you can take your laundry to be clean one time every week, and everybody had a different day to go. And nobody wanted to do it. At first I started taking the laundry for the older women that were there because it's a long walk, it's cold, it's hot, it's raining, and all of the things. But then it got to a point where people were saying, hey, you going to take the laundry today? And I said, yeah. They're like, hey, will you take mine? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And so I'm walking every day, 2, 3, 4 miles. I'm getting fine. My body is coming together. My skin is nice and clear. And I'm learning a skill, to be honest with you, something that who knew I would need. And so I was telling my friend that, and he was like, yo, you should do it. And I was like, do what? He said, you should start a business where you pick up people's laundry and then bring it back to them. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds real smart. It was easy for me to do there. But the other thing about this is I don't have any money. Yeah. And he's like, let's figure it out. And so he and I start writing things down on paper. And I go to well over 45 laundromats and dry cleaners in the city of Charlotte, asking them to process for me. And all of them told me no, why would we do that? We have our own. We don't have the capacity for it. You can come in here and work and do it yourself, all kinds of things. And so I went to talk to my business attorney, and he was the one that sent me on that path. He was like, because my idea was that I would go pick up people's laundry, bring it to my house, wash it, dry it, fold it, and take it back to them. So when I was talking to my business attorney,
laundry room.
In my personal laundry, that was what I was going to do. And my business attorney says, well, don't people do that now? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, you should talk to them. And I was like, man, I'm supposed to be the entrepreneur here. Why didn't I think of that? And, I met this guy, Paul Kwan. He was probably number 50, 51. And Paul was out in East Charlotte, and I went in and I told him what I was trying to do. And he was like, yeah, this is good. I've helped the company do this before. But they didn't treat me right. And I was like, listen, I will come over here at your dry cleaners and I will work for free so that I can learn the process. And he said, it's something about you. You feel safe. Come back in a couple of weeks. I'm going on vacation, and let's see what we can do. I go back in a couple of weeks. He introduces me to a guy who owns a laundromat that can do the wash, dry, fold. And he takes me under his wing in his dry cleaners, which was Sunrise Dry Cleaners out in East Charlotte. And he teaches me the dry cleaning process from bottom to the top, from the front door out the back door. And I worked with him for about 3 months in his dry cleaners. And then after that, I had gotten enough money up to get this bastardized website together, washroomlaundry.com. It was terrible, but it was mine. We had did it. I think we spent $1,500 on this thing. It was terrible. And every few days, Paul would call and say, "Hey, Matt, you got anybody yet?" And I'm like, "No, not yet, not yet." Well, after about 3 months of not having anything, he says, "You know what? We have this drop store over here, and I think you should have it." And I was like, "What? You think I should have it?" I was like, "Listen, you know my situation. I laid my situation bare for him because I wanted him to understand how serious I was about this." And he was like, "Yeah, I understand, but I think there's something we can do." He's like, "Let me talk to my father and, I'll get back to you." And so in a couple of weeks, he came back and he said, "I will sell you my drop store to get you started, and we'll process your dry cleaning for you here." And I was like, "Well, I don't have any money for that." He's like, we're
Yeah.
going to make it easy. And so they assigned me the lease, transferred their lease over to me. I gave them $5,000 cash that I borrowed from my tow truck driver friend. And
What?
they gave me the keys to a dry cleaning drop store that was beautiful. It
Whew.
was set up with 2 employees. And I couldn't believe it. And we did this deal on April the 28th, which was my grandmother's birthday, right? So that day is special to me.
That's
And
beautiful.
so I had this dry cleaning drop store and 2 employees and like, oh, what do I do with this? Because I was thinking wash and fold. After 2 weeks of training with the 2 employees, I fired them because I don't have the money to keep them on. And for the next 1 year, I worked in this dry cleaning drop store every day, Monday through Saturday, from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, and on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day.
Wow.
And I had a lady, Ton, she would come in and do the alterations for me. She was the best. And one day, Ton came in, and I was in the back of the dry cleaners on the floor, half dead. I was totally exhausted. I was dehydrated. My blood pressure was high. And she came in and she found a blanket and she wrapped me up, took my phone and called my sister to come and pick me up. And at that day, I knew that I couldn't go on like that. And that's when I started to build out a team for what Washroom is today.
Wow, Shell. What an amazing story though of just I mean, would you say it was being in the right place at the right time or being driven? Like,
Yes.
how do you think this all unfolded for you?
I think it was it was part ego and part not wanting to be the statistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
My ego was saying, "Oh yeah, these people told me no, they wouldn't take a chance on me because I have a criminal record. I'll show you." Oh,
Yeah.
and by the way, I ended up doing work for them during COVID.
Really?
For Corning, yes, for the exact same plant that I was going to be working at. I ended up
Wow.
doing some work for them. But it was people telling me no and, going through all these people telling me no and just to prove to them, but more so to myself that it is not a no. It's just a no right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
This thing that I'm trying to do can be done and there is someone who can help me do it. And so it's that grit of, I'm not going to stop. I'm too close, right? I can see the finish line. I know I can make it. I'm going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And, the last part of that is, Jenny, statistics say that if you have a parent that is incarcerated, your likelihood of being incarcerated is high, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that for my children, right? I left 2 children. I left 2 children out here. My son graduated from high school, and I wasn't here to see his graduation. And I missed a lot. I don't want that for my children. I don't want that for anybody's children, right? And so just that thing in my head about how this choice that I made could affect my children long term, I don't want that for them. And so
Yeah.
I was working super hard and I'm pushing myself, pushing past boundaries that, shouldn't exist, but they do.
Yeah. I mean, what I hear you saying is that grit and resilience and just having the vision, right? You knew you wanted to
Mm-hmm.
do this business. And then as you started to communicate that, you found connections that were in that. And then other people around you
Mm-hmm.
that believed in that vision for you, like this guy, Paul, to help you kind
Yeah.
of get there. What tools or tactics or advice could you give someone else who's in the same situation right now going, I'm getting 50 no's and I'm really struggling to get through. I don't know if it's going to work out. Like, help me get shit done.
I'm going to say that first you have to take some time and do some introspection, right? You have to think about what your goals are and how badly you want them, right?
Mm.
And then the second thing that I tell people is that you do not give up until you have done every single thing that you can. Every single thing. Like, whenever I get that no, and I get them now, right? And it hurts me. It really does. Like, who wants to know? But you have to push until you have no more left, because when you feel like your back is against the wall, you're right where you need to be. My mom tells me that being in the eye of the storm is the safest place to be.
Yeah.
The safest place to be. It don't sound good, right? But
Yeah.
it's not a bad analogy, but just to have that, that mustard seed of hope and that mustard seed of courage to push through when you just feel like you can't go on anymore, because you're right there. The battle is just not over. And, I'm in that place in my business right now because we're taking it to another level. We're doing something that we've never done before. And I'm finding out that we're doing something that other women has not done in this industry before. So I like the word trailblazer, but I won't claim it yet. um, and I'm getting a lot of people telling me, I don't know how that's going to work. I don't think it's
They
going to
say that all the
work.
time, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
If,
yeah, yeah, they do. And I'm like,
mm-hmm.
okay, it might not have worked for them. I might have a
Mm-hmm.
different outcome. And that's how
Yep.
we have to look at it. Our
Yep.
outcome might be different.
Yep. I don't know if you found this, just that I sometimes the people closest to me that love me and care about my success
Mm-hmm.
are also the ones that are telling me, don't do that. Don't try so hard. It might not work out. And have you found that the people around you have done that, or they're more supportive and like, yeah, dream big, go for it?
Yeah, so the people around me, my family. So when I talk about my family, my unit is my sister. I have a younger sister that I help raise. My mom, my son, 30-year-old, and my daughter just turned 18, and my dad. And sometimes they push me to do more, to be more, to think bigger. Like, I think like this, everybody else thinks that I can do this. Like, their vision of me is so great and so grand. And I'm like, gosh, what about these
That's
standards that you
awesome.
guys are giving me?
Yeah.
But they don't limit me. They
Good.
push me to do more, to be more. And I appreciate that. I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate that, because I could still be in that dry cleaning drugstore working 6 days a week alone.
So yeah, because it was your sister that came in and kind of rescued you up off the floor that day.
My sister came to get me and took me to the emergency room. She sure did.
Oh my
And right
goodness.
now she'll say that that I'm her mentor, and she looks up to me, but that thing is, it's reversed. I look up
Yeah.
to her, like the person that she's become, and this professional that she is, and the things that she brings to the table. And my sister was a cheerleader from the time she cheered in middle school through high school. We used to send her to summer camp. So she's always been a cheerleader. What I love about her is that she is still a cheerleader. All of her friends, yeah, girl, you got this. We can do
Oh, I
this.
love
What can I
that.
do to help? And she
Yeah.
does the same thing for me.
Shell, I feel like you do that for me. So
Well, thank you.
it's like how many times, as entrepreneurs, I say we're riding this roller coaster, and you already alluded to it a minute ago. It's like it's not ever done, the up and down. The
Hmm.
no's don't go
Hmm.
away. It's just different
Hmm.
challenges, different revenue thresholds. Remember, we were like, we just got to get to that million. We got to get to that
Yeah.
million, and now we're like, okay, well, same shit still exists. Like we got to. What's the next hurdle? What's the next thing?
Yeah.
But if I didn't have people like you in my circle to get me out of those funks, I don't know that I could mentally survive either. So,
Yeah.
I thank you for being one of my cheerleaders.
Oh, well, thank you. Listen, man, I think that as people, not just as an entrepreneur, but as people, we have to be more caring. And
Mm.
right now, more than ever, mental health is a whole thing, and
Oh
we have
yeah.
to be aware of that in people, right? And so, anytime we can lift somebody up, or anytime people come to us with things, issues. It could be something small to us, but it's huge to them. We need to make space for it, make space for them to, talk about it if they want to and share. And sometimes, most oftentimes, all they want to do is talk about it. So if you open these and close this, you've done way more for that person than you can ever imagine.
Yes. And I think that whenever we do have those conversations and the moments that we're
Mm-hmm.
truly vulnerable, we find
Mm-hmm.
out that we are more alike than we think, that we're different. And there's always this
Absolutely.
red thread that connects us. And one of the most powerful things I found through our entrepreneurial journey was other leaders like you is when I started to say, like, I'm afraid about this. I don't know if I'm worth it. I think I'm failing. I don't have the courage for that. Someone else is like, yeah, me too. And this is their story and
Yeah.
in a similar path. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I'm not alone in these thoughts. And quite frankly, that's kind of why I started this podcast, because I feel like some people look at others that are successful and think like, oh, they're over there. They're not like me. They have everything or that was handed to them. And I wanted to share
Yeah.
these real stories, like what you've just shared, is that it wasn't handed to you. You worked your ass off to get here, and you do
Yeah.
still struggle even though you're successful. And how do we overcome those things as a community to support each other?
Yes, absolutely. It's tough. Entrepreneurship is nothing glamorous or sexy. I know people make it that way,
Oh my
but
God, do they
this
ever?
is,
Yeah.
yes, they glamorize entrepreneurship. I am a person that I go to work every day. Even on the days that I don't go to work, I'm going to work. We can never clock out from this thing. We
Mm-hmm.
never get to clock out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, they can clock out and go home and, unwind, take their hair off if they want to. Not us, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But let me tell you something. I would not change this for anything. And so
Yeah.
what I went through to get here,
Mm-hmm.
I I regret it. I hate that I had to go to prison to become an entrepreneur, because when people see me and they think about what success I have or I've seen, they don't know what I lost to get it. I lost so much to get this, but I would not change being right here for nothing.
Yeah.
I have an opportunity to help so many other people now, people who I didn't even know I could help, right? And I'm so excited that the good Lord gave me that opportunity, little old me, who is a person who's made bad decisions, bad choices, suffered some horrible consequences, but the Lord still found it, um, so that I can help other people with all my flaws.
Yeah. I mean, Shell, I think that's why you appreciate it more. I mean, I think going
Yeah.
through a struggle, I've often heard that people that have moved from out of the country into the US or have come from adversity are more likely to
Mm-hmm.
become entrepreneurs because of the struggle and the grit and the resilience that it takes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they are, how much they appreciate that struggle to get there, that journey even more,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So, I mean, and I also commend you because that is quite the journey to get there in a country where, especially in Charlotte, the upper mobility is not the best. And coming out of
Right.
incarceration, we don't really have the right programs and systems to help people, rehabilitate and get
Mm-hmm.
back into the workforce. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
amazing that you were able to do that. Tell me now about how you give back to others. Like you mentioned, you have the ability to help so many. And I know that you are volunteering so much time to these boards. And what does that mean to you? And how do you seek that to give that help out?
Well, the first thing that I do, and it's near and dear to me, right, is we are a second chance employer, right? So we hire men and women that are justice involved. I would be some kind of hypocrite if I didn't. But what I found is, what I found is that that is an untapped pool of employees because we're talking about men and women who come from all sorts of backgrounds. There's doctors, there's lawyers, there's salespeople, there's insurance people. There is everyone there, and the upside of that, and I am, I guess I'm pitching here, or I am being an advocate for. The upside of that is the WOTC tax credit, and so every time you hire a veteran or someone who is justice involved, you get a tax credit. Last year, my company got well over $20,000 in tax credits. Who can't use that in their business, right? Because we hired men and women who were justice involved. Yes, it takes a little
Okay.
paperwork, but we all have to do some paperwork. And
Yeah.
so that is the number one way that I am, giving back and helping
Hmm.
people, right? We're getting families, back to work, people getting people stable so that they can take care of their families and prayerfully they don't reoffend, right? The
Hmm.
second thing is I was working with CPCC Small Business Center, coaching entrepreneurs at the start of their businesses or businesses that were already established, helping them to increase their revenue or scale their businesses. I really enjoy that work because, man, I didn't have anybody to kind of guide me around the pitfalls very early on. And to have that kind of guidance and support very early on is critical, right? Because
Hmm.
in the early stages, money is tight, human resources is tight, and your social capital is probably not there, right? And so helping these people kind of navigate through that at early stage is super impactful. And I love it when I get to go to LinkedIn now and see these people who I've worked with and they're saying, oh, I got my book written. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, we got 3 new vans. That kind of thing excites me. I'm like, yeah, it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with me, but it just makes me feel good. And
Yep.
who doesn't need to feel good in 2024 with all of the things we got going on?
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot
Right.
happening.
And it's a
Yeah.
lot happening. So those are things that, I do to give back and to, try and support my community. I will continue to be, I'm going to say, an advocate, a silent advocate. If it comes up and I'm in the room, I will make noise about how important it is to not discount people who are former offenders.
Hmm.
It's terrible. It's a terrible practice. This whole thing with this application process and checking that box, it's offensive.
Is there a place that business owners can go to specifically post jobs for people that are seeking work that have previously been
Yeah,
incarcerated?
actually, there is one of the places that works with men and women that are re-entering is CCT, so the Center for Community Transitions.
Okay.
I'm on the board for them, and I'm touting them right now. But they have a program called LifeWorks, and every other week, every 2 weeks, they have a cohort of at least 10 men and women who are justice involved and who are looking for jobs. And what they do is give them job readiness skills. They
Oh,
work on
good.
resumes. They do mock interviews. If they need attire to wear for an interview,
Mm.
they help them with that. Once they complete the program, they get a gift in the form of a gift card. But if they get a job, once they get a job, they can go back to this organization, and this organization can help them get any of the tools that they need to be successful on their job.
Oh,
And
that's
so
awesome.
you can always reach out to CCT, the Center for Community Transitions LifeWorks program.
Okay.
And the other one is NC Works. NC Works is a place, it's a job portal, right? And you can go there post jobs, as well as people who are looking for jobs can go there and look for jobs as well. And you can put in your work descriptions that, criminal record does not apply, or, some language that that says, that verbalizes that you are a second chance employer. Just a second chance employer is, it's real simple and easy to put in your job description as well, so that people are aware. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he has been released from prison now for almost a year, can't find work, and he's doing Uber and Lyft, has a driver's license and all of these things, and he went for a delivery position. And when he got there, first thing he did was, he came clean. He said, "This is, what's going on. I just want to let you know that." They stopped the interview immediately. He was crushed. He was crushed. And it made me feel bad, because it almost sets you up.
Yeah.
It almost sets you up.
It puts another layer on top of everything else. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, climb over this now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, for employers, making that known that you are a second chance employer is huge. And Charlotte is moving towards being a second chance city. We're not there yet by any means. We're not there yet by any means, but we have some work to do, but there's a lot of work going on to help, men and women that are re-entering society, find gainful employment and something that they enjoy doing. Atrium Health is a second chance employer now in the healthcare system.
I did not know that.
Yes. There's plenty of organizations in the city that you can check out to, see if you want to get involved in anything like that. I can share them with you so that you can share them with your viewers.
Yep. That sounds great. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So you talked a little bit about social capital, and that was going to be my next question is, how, when you first came out, did you start growing that social capital? What did you do?
Wow. So that was tough, because I always felt like I had this scarlet letter. And this is a true story. It's terrible.
I like true stories. Let's go.
One of the things that I did was I changed my name. So instead of writing out Saichelle McNeil, I would put SC, my middle initial, and McNeil. Or I would put S Mac McNeil, right? And so whenever I would meet people, they'd say, "What's your name?" I was like, "My name is Saichelle, but please just call me Mac." Right?
Okay.
And so people started calling me Mac because I was running from what I thought was my past. Okay.
Yeah.
And as I started to get more footing in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, I love that word.
Right. Some buzzwords we use: social capital and ecosystem.
Yeah. As I started to get my footing in the, the entrepreneurial ecosystem, I realized that I've got to be me, and I am Saichelle, right? And so I think when I cut down on the SC McNeil and the S Mac McNeil, I started to build this social capital, because people now know me, they know my story, and they can buy into that. They can support that.
So being authentic is really what you decided. Yes. Okay. Because when you're authentic, now you're like, I'm real. This is who I am, like it or not, and make connections.
Absolutely.
I love that. Yeah, that's some good advice right there. Just be authentic. Don't hide from your past. Because the people you'll either attract the right people, and you might detract some people, and that's fine. That is fine.
Yeah, because the people that'll stick around for you are the ones that you really need anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. So tell me about how it felt to be named the Crowns of Enterprise Business of the Year.
Well,
after all this hustle.
I was floored, right? Because, we do this work because we enjoy it, right? It's something about chasing that dream or that idea that is just motivational. And so all of these years, January was 8 years for me. I've just
Nice.
had my head down and just working, right? And for
Mm-hmm.
somebody to notice that, it makes you feel good. And so here's the story. I got a lot of stories. I'm going to be a great grandmother. I know it. Whenever it becomes my time, I am going to be great at it.
I know listening to
So
your Wu Tang, but we'll get to that later. But like, can you imagine you open
yeah,
the grand up?
yes, yes. My grandkids will know. They say, "Turn it up, Nanny."
Okay.
So I was in my van, in the washroom laundry van, and I'm coming down. I don't even know what street it is, and there's this big, huge billboard on the side of a parking deck, and I see washroom laundry, and I see the logo, and I'm screaming like, "Oh shit!" And I'm flipping and trying to find my phone, and I can't get my phone out to get it fast enough. And I'm hollering, and I'm on the phone with a friend, and he's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I just seen it. I just seen it on the billboard." And so I saw it there, and it was like, nobody told me. And so I
Yeah.
have to go through my day. And later on that night, I come through there with my mom, and we're in the
Oh,
car. And when we roll up, it's this huge billboard, and it's just lit up. It's dark outside, and it is beautiful. And I said to myself at that time, Lord, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for all of the people who were on that panel to say, yeah, her, because I had a rough year.
yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it just was motivation to like keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I was I was floored. I couldn't believe it. I wanted them to call my name, but I didn't have to expect them to call my name.
Yeah. No, it's so awesome. And you're right. Sometimes like we have our head down and we're just grinding forward and we don't stop and pause and look at how far we've come. So I think that's a
Yeah.
great thing that you just mentioned there. Just take a pause and celebrate that
Yeah.
moment. So
Mm-hmm.
very
Mm-hmm.
good. So if there was one piece of advice you could give about your journey or someone that needs to help, again, overcoming all the stuff we talked about to get shit done, what would that one piece of advice be?
That one piece of advice is don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep pushing forward. Do not give up on yourself. And bet it all on you because you know what your capabilities are.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much passion you have for it. Nobody else can feel the same passion that you do about your thing. So keep moving forward and don't let people detract you with negativity or even detract you with things like, the other people that are doing this are here. This is where
Mm.
you are, right? And that is kind of negative, but sometimes that starts to attack you personally. So don't let other people's junk detract you from seeing through the things that you want to do. And know that it's hard. It's hard. Everything is hard. Even people tell
Mm-hmm.
you it's easy. It's not. It's hard. Know that it's hard and just figure out the tools that you need in your tool belt to break through that, to
Yep.
fight through it.
And a lot of
Yep.
what you said is that resilience. It's the social capital. It's
Mm-hmm.
having the cheerleaders around you,
Mm-hmm.
the grit, the resilience, all the things you mentioned earlier, all in your
Yeah.
toolkit. Yeah,
All of those things.
pretty awesome. So,
Yeah.
how can people find you, Shell? Give us a little pitch about Washroom Laundry.
So the washroom laundry service is a full service mobile laundry dry cleaning delivery. We service both residential clients, so anything that you wear that you put in the washing machine, we will come to your home, pick that up for you, wash, dry, fold it, and bring it back to you neatly the next day. We also do
The
dry cleaning.
next day.
Now, think about this dry cleaning thing. You throw it in the car, you drive around with it for a few days, like, I got to get
Oh,
this to the
please.
dry cleaners.
Like
And
weeks, Shell.
then once you get it to the dry cleaners, you forget about it until you're
Yep.
like, oh shit, I got this thing coming up. I need my dress out the dry cleaners. Then
Yep.
you got to schlep back over there to get it. And then you go home. With the washroom laundry service, we take all the schlepping out of the way. We take all the forgetfulness out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
We pick it up from your home or office. We bring it back to you in 3 days.
Yeah.
Pressed just like you like it, ready for your next event. We make laundry day So freaking easy. I want to say another word, but I'm going to say freaking easy. And you can find us at washroomlaundry.com. You can find us on social, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Washroom Laundry. And you can find me on LinkedIn at Saichelle McNeil. And I'm always trying to find something to talk about.
No, you're great with that. And like you said, you love sharing tips and insights on what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And I love following your page. So definitely recommend go find her on LinkedIn. And
Thank you,
I'm one of those people that drives around with my dry cleaning for like weeks. I'm no joke. And I'm pretty sure I left my blazer at a laundry service. I don't know where it is. And so.
And you know what they've done to it, right?
I don't know. They probably gave it out.
$4.
What?
They sold it for $4.
Yeah.
Oh, and then one last thing for your listeners. There is a Washroom Laundry app that can be conveniently downloaded from the App Store.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Apple Store and Google Play Store. Go download the app. Let us help you remove the burden of laundry. I'll tell you this one last thing. And for those of us that are in this sandwich generation where now we are responsible for taking care, we're taking care of our parents. Laundry can be unsafe for men and women who have gotten older in age, right? And so think about this maybe for your parents. It's an opportunity here. I'm just trying to let you know. And if you want to talk about anything laundry tips, laundry hacks, hanging tips, all of those things.
I know you got some.
Give me a call. Reach out to me. I got one that I'm going to do next, and it's going to blow you guys' mind. I'm going to share just a little sneak peek.
Okay.
Look,
wait, Shell, this is about getting shit done. That could be laundry.
Right.
So let's go for it. What's the tip?
Right.
Let's get that laundry tip.
Here's the tip. Can you think about your mattress? Everybody has that spot on their mattress that is kind of icky, right? It happens. Sure. And we put a cover over it, right?
Okay.
I have a hack to clean that mattress up.
Okay.
You're going to be surprised. I'm going to drop it on you. I'm not going to drop it right here. But you're going to have to come out and follow me.
I got you. That's the call to action.
On LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, because we'll share it right there.
I love that.
I'm serious. It is bananas.
Well, and you really have given me some laundry tips in the past. So she's not lying. Follow her on Instagram and LinkedIn, rather. Yeah. Okay. So last piece, because this is my favorite part. Everyone has a hype song.
Everybody got a hype song.
Everybody's got a hype song. We've already alluded to some Wu-Tang, so I guess I dropped that hint, but tell everyone what type of songs you use to hype you up to get ready to go to events or whatever else you got to do that's hard. Yeah.
So this is every event that I have to go to first of all. And she said it, Wu-Tang is my thing. Wu-Tang is forever, mother. Yeah.
Right.
But this is what I'm going to say this time, Jenny. So I was on a trip with Jenny and we were in a foreign country.
Singapore.
It's
my favorite.
Were in Singapore. And I was in the front of our Singapore Uber ride.
I'm already laughing.
I asked the driver what his name was, and he told me his name. I can't remember. It was like John or Bob.
Calvin. No, it's Calvin. Yeah, I have the video.
Have regular names. You should drop the link to that video in this episode.
Okay. We're gonna drop the link in the social channel to promote this episode. That's what we'll do.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Oh my God.
So I asked him, hey, what kind of music do you like?
Oh God.
And he's like, yeah, and I was like, do you like hip hop? And he's like, yeah. I was like, Snoop Doggy Dogg.
He's like, I don't know.
He gives me this look, and so my friend Jenny and my other friend Mario in the back starts playing Snoop Dogg. And I start singing 1, 2, 3 until the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door.
And then she's like, you got me, Calvin? You got me? And she's like, all right, you're bobbing your head.
Yeah. And so I'll just say this. I love some Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is so chill. He seems so fun. If I could hang out with him, I would. And so sometimes I get down to a little Snoop Dogg, okay? Sorry.
I like
Me
it.
and my grandbabies will be driving down the road with Snoop Dogg and Wu-Tang.
I feel like that's going to be our generation, though. Like, I'll be 80 with the Wu-Tang and Snoop Dogg on. I'm good with that. And,
Yes.
I don't care if it's East Coast, West Coast, we're just all united.
Yeah, just one coast, baby. It's a
Oh,
United
man.
States.
So this has been super fun. Hopefully some people got something out of it. If not, they
I
got some
hope
new
so.
music. Thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jenny, so much for having me here. Keep doing what you're doing and keep killing it and keep bringing these kinds of topics to the forefront for men and for women, for entrepreneurs and business leaders, right?
Yeah,
Business leaders need this too.
absolutely. This is not just for business owners. It could be for
Right.
business leaders. Yep. Because we all got to
Absolutely.
overcome the head trash to get shit done.
Right. And students. Let's not forget about our
All
college
right.
students and our high school students because they
We are
got to
here
get
for
some
you.
shit done too.
Heck yeah,
Yes,
we are
we are.
here for you.
We are. We welcome, welcome, welcome.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, Jenny, thank you so much. This was fun.
Thanks for listening to GSD with Jenny. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend. For more ways to GSD, you can also find me on LinkedIn at Jenny Buchholz, where you can sign up for my Maven Mindset newsletter, or follow me on Instagram at Maven Jenny. Until next time, go GSD, Mavens!